हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु।
कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम to all. Second one.
Prabhu, how do you keep the bookmark, Prabhu? Is there a provision in the PDF?
Yeah. So on the right hand side, you see a red color mark.
I see that, but I tried, I couldn't do that. So I was...
So you just click that, it takes the bookmark.
Okay.
And the best part is you can take as many bookmark as possible. And you can have a view window on the left hand side, contents and tables.
Okay.
So if you click on then in that section, it will tell you bookmarks. If you click on the bookmarks, it will give you all the bookmarks that you have clicked. Okay. So then you just can see it and say, okay, I'm here, and just go to that page and go like that.
Yes.
So generally after class is over, I will click this bookmark here.
Yeah, I've observed that, but I tried to do. But yours is a paid version, Prabhu. Or
No, free version only.
Free version only. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll try.
Okay. So welcome all. So hope you're all practicing nice devotion service. Today, what we want to do is I want to share Rupa Goswami's characteristics of devotion service. I spoke about this in the last Bhagavatham class also, but I thought I'll just share this. Yes. So that you get more and better understanding. Okay. Are you able to see this? So this is from chapter 1, Nectar of Devotion, characteristics of devotion service. Many of us have read this, but generally what happens is we tend to take it simple, but this is most important. Okay. So Rupa Goswami has explained every line so detailedly. You all can take Nectar of Devotion part 1, chapter 1, and then read this very nicely. And it is so simple English that you can see in-depth meaning explained by Rupa Goswami. Okay. So, but today I thought we'll just dwell upon this first introductory paragraph and then the 6 characteristics of devotion service for just 10 minutes, and then we'll continue to read. And today we'll finish off the 10th chapter of Canto 1, which talks about Krishna departing. So now we've covered most of it in Krishna departing Hastinapur, all the key events. Now only the talks between the ladies of Hastinapur and then Krishna departing and then going. So it's just administrative and things like that. Okay. So we'll see this today. And why this now is the key question. So now if you see, when Krishna departs Hastinapur, you see certain characteristics, behavior demonstrated by Hastinapur Vasis. And he departs and then reaches Dwarka, which is the next chapter of Bhagavatam. You will see all the devotees are showing love and affection to Krishna, right? Now, what does this love and affection means? Does Lord accept this love and affection at the time of departure or the time of entry? How do we understand this as a devotion service? So, in order to understand devotion service in depth, I wanted to cover this characteristics of your devotion service from Rupa Goswami, so that you will know anything about the Lord is so pure, so transcendental, and pleasing to the heart. And that's what is important. When a subject matter is very pleasing to the heart, what happens? We love it. We want to read it again, right? you can experience this in your life also. For example, a particular song. It can be a song from Purandaradasa, or it can be a song from any of your mother or your grandmother or yourself attending, while learning Carnatic music. You see, these songs are so attractive that you want to hear again, play it again, read again, things like that. Even many novels that you read, certain novels are so attractive that you keep reading them again and again. Now, the reason is when a particular subject matter gives pleasure to the heart, when it soothes your heart, you get attracted. Now, you see, in case of Krishna, everything about the Lord is very pleasing. So it keeps on attracting living entities at all points in time. And when that attraction happens, there is reciprocation also. One does something, another person reciprocates. Another person does something, he reciprocates. When there is mutual reciprocation between both entities, you see love, the devotion starts to manifest. Right? That's what Rupa Goswami is talking about. Okay? So we'll just offer prayers and then begin. Om Ajnana Timirandasya. So Hare Krishna, my suggestion is that devotees may be in mute, but along with me, please offer prayers. It is very important to offer prayers. Why? Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Dharmayam Susukam Kartam Avyayam. So what does this mean? It says this transcendental subject knowledge is, it's Rajavidya. It is the topmost of all the knowledge that is ever existing in this creation. Okay? Now, it is not only topmost, it is Rajaguhyam also. It's very secretive. It cannot be understood. Now, when that can be understood? When we offer prayers to the Guru Parampara, when we offer prayers to the devotees, when we offer prayers to the gopis, when we offer prayers to Krishna. By their causeless mercy, we are able to understand. So, prayers are very important. And that changes the way we think, the way we act, the way we understand the subject matter. So hence, please offer prayers at all times, not just today. Okay? Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadadi Swapadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanyaya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagatitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so welcome all to morning program. So we're reading from chapter 1, Nectar of Devotion, Characteristics of Pure Devotion Service. Okay, can someone volunteer read the first 3 paragraphs?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, recording Prabhuji.
It is already going on, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Read.
Okay, Prabhu.
Read, Prabhu.
In Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 29th chapter, verses 12 and 13, Srila Kapila Deva, while instructing his mother, has given the following characteristics of pure devotional service. My dear mother, those who are my pure devotees and who have no desire for material benefit or philosophical speculation have their minds so much engaged in my service, and they are never interested in asking me for anything except to be engaged in that service. They do not even beg to live in my abode with me. There are 5 kinds of liberation, namely, to become one with the Lord, to live with the Supreme Lord on the same planet, to have the same features as the Lord, to enjoy the same opulences as the Lord, and to live as a companion of the Lord. A devotee, what to speak of rejecting material sense gratification, does not even want any of the 5 kinds of liberation. He is satisfied simply by discharging loving service to the Lord. That is the characteristics of pure devotion. In the above statement by Kapila Deva from Srimad Bhagavatam, the actual position of a pure devotee is described, and the primary characteristics of devotional service are also defined. Further, characteristics of devotional service are described by Rupa Goswami with evidences from different scriptures. He states that there are 6 characters of pure devotional service, which are as follows.
Okay. So now let's look at important points here. Okay. Now look at this point that Kapila Deva is trying to talk about. Does it highlight? No, this doesn't highlight. Okay. So whatever I've highlighted, he says, "My dear mother." So this is Kapila Deva instruction to Devavati. "My dear mother, those who are my pure devotees." Now look at the word. Those who are my pure devotees? They would do some things. Okay. And who have no desire for material benefits, fruitive actions. We talked about this in the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Or philosophical speculation. Oh, they keep on doubting Krishna. Oh, is Krishna is the correct? Oh, is Rama is the correct? Oh, Lord Shiva is the correct? They keep on doubting their positions and keep on confusing about it. And what they do, they go search of knowledge to revalidate, to revalidate, to revalidate. Right? So it's called philosophical speculation. And also what they do, they validate the versions of the Vedas. Oh, the Vedas were spoken about 10,000 years back. Then it was rewritten. What happened when it was rewritten? Has it changed? What is the difference? This is superior, that is inferior. They would do all these things. This is called philosophical speculation. Have their minds so much engaged in my service that they're never interested in asking me for anything. This is the key of pure devotion. A pure devotee doesn't go to the Lord and commands or asks or anything. Oh Lord, I'm interested, I want this, please give me that. Now, Prabhupada talks about there are certain exceptions. Now, one exception is that when a devotee feels he is in danger, when the devotee is suffering extremely. So, he talked about worship of Lord Nrsimhadev for protection. And when devotee is in extreme distress, he can request the Lord, Lord, if at all, he says the word, if at all you desire, you please relieve me from my material distress, because it is causing an impediment to practice of my devotion service. Right? So he says that is the mood. Right? So they always engage in service. And importantly, he concludes, they do not even beg to live in my abode with me. That means, next he is talking about 5 types of liberation. He says a pure devotee doesn't even ask for living in the abode. Oh Krishna, if I get liberated, give me one form like you. Sarupya Mukti, please give me that Mukti, so that I will look like you and I'll be in your planet, I'll serve you. No, he doesn't even ask. He doesn't even ask any of those aspects. He says, Lord, whatever service you give me, in whatever state and condition you give me, as per your desire, I'll do that service. And he, by saying that, irrespective of his position, wherever he is, whichever material planet he is, he will be able to deliver devotion service and experience great bliss. Now, what happens to a devotee who is always in devotion, who is demonstrating great service and engagement service to the Lord, is always protected by the Lord. He need not worry about the three modes of material nature causing disturbance to him. Krishna told Arjuna, Arjuna, go beyond the three modes of material nature. Cross these three modes. How? Practice of devotion. So that's exactly the point. Devotee is also being advised by Kapila Dev. Now, he is talking about 5 kinds of devotion service. But look at his final statement. Look at this statement here. He says, he is satisfied simply by discharging loving service of the Lord. That is the character of pure devotion. Even though Lord says there are 5 types of mukti you can choose. He says, no, no, no. My duty is to perform devotion service and be satisfied with it. That's it. I don't want anything else. In such a state, what happens? There's 5 kinds of mukti. See, there's 5 kinds of mukti. Starting from Sayuja Mukti. He says all 5 kinds of mukti. Mukti is actually a personality. One of the service personality of Lord. He or she will be at the doorstep waiting to award that to you. And that is pure devotion. Now, how can this pure devotion be experienced? So, Rupa Goswami talks about characteristics of pure devotion service. Now look at these characteristics. When we analyze these characteristics, what we have to look at is these characteristics can be demonstrated at any point in time in different manners, and Krishna reciprocates. Now, in case of Krishna leaving Hastinapur, the ladies just came rushing to witness the Lord, to see the Lord. They came on the rooftop terraces. As they saw the Lord, they envisaged their consciousness. Oh Lord, you did that. Oh Lord, you are like this. Oh Lord, you are so and so. Oh Lord, you are son of Yashoda and Nandana. And 2 other ladies, they are talking to each other. You know how he killed the demon and protected the Vrajavasis. You know how he chastised the gopis in this manner and then performed amorous leelas. Like that, they're conversing. And when Krishna passes by, even though they're conversing, but Krishna is Antaryami, right? He can hear, he can understand the heart of devotees. Once he hears that, he glances at those 2 ladies, and Prabhupada writes, just that glance, that means 2 things. 1, Krishna has accepted their devotion, and second, he has awarded liberation. Just look at this. We are complicating devotion by talking about many things, but look at the specific event. 2 ladies talking about Krishna and Krishna's pastime. By Lord glancing at it, he has accepted whatever they spoke as offerings of devotion, and he's also glanced at them by offering liberation back in return to them. That is the beauty of the Lord. So now look at these characteristics. Let's see these characteristics. What does devotion do to us? The first, pure devotion service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. Okay, so we are constantly influenced by, we are in the material life, we are in the material world, and we are influenced by the material energies. Material energies causes 2 things. 1, it causes temporary nature. Everything, it makes it temporary. It creates, maintains, annihilates. So, this temporary nature makes people get bewildered. Second, the material nature makes a living entity think he is independent. He is not under control of anything or anyone. So these are the major aspects of the material energies. Now, what does a pure devotee do? He's taking shelter of the Lord. Now, once he practices devotion service and takes shelter of the Lord, then what does the first character say? He says, immediate relief from all kinds of material relief, the distress. That means that person, that devotee, has gone above the three modes of material nature. He is transcendental. That's the whole point. Okay? So that's the first characteristics. Now, if you go down, relief from material distress, Prabhupada writes lots of content, right? You can read this content very beautifully, and then you will see, you will understand many short stories and explanation how to understand relief from material desire. Okay? Strength. Pure devotion service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. What is auspiciousness? We say Shubham, we say Swagatam, we say all these words, right? So these are all auspiciousness. Auspiciousness means only good things will happen. Nescience goes away and purity of knowledge manifests in one's heart. All these things are auspiciousness. In an auspicious state, one is characterized with extreme bliss and happiness. Right? So the second character he is stressing on is all auspiciousness. All good things will pervade. Henceforth, the living entities will be in state of bliss. All good things will happen to them. Why? Practice of pure devotion service. Third, pure devotion service automatically puts one on transcendental pleasure. Now, if you look at the plane, okay, now let's assume this is the material plane. All the living entities below here are influenced by this material plane and material energies, right? You can see this picture in Bhagavad Gita also, in one of the colored pictures there. Now, the living entities are here, influenced by the material plane. By practice of devotion, what do? They go above the material plane. This is transcendental plane. In transcendental plane, the energies don't influence them. Material energies do not influence them. And hence, they are in a plane where they can see the Lord eye to eye. They can experience the blissful nature of the Lord eye to eye. That is the power of transcendental plane. All subject knowledge, the chitta, the ananda potency, everything is fully manifested in the transcendental plane. And that's important. So transcendental plane is experienced in two stages. One is the Bhava Bhakti stage, then Prema Bhakti stage, right? So we can easily experience fullness of transcendental state. Okay. Fourth, pure devotion service is rarely achieved. It is sudurlabha. It is not so easy to achieve pure devotion service. It takes its own time. The reasons being, all of us are coming with prarabdha karma. This prarabdha karma will enforce us to do certain things at certain times. But prarabdha karma is material in nature. So, a man is influenced by the prarabdha karma, he is unable to do anything else. Now, if that person is practicing pure devotion service, he is no more influenced by the prarabdha karma, and that is the only, free will that he possesses. The free will that we possess is on practicing devotion service, but karma will enforce him to practice material activities according to his past deeds. Right? So, because of all these things, living entities find it difficult. Lots of reasons they give. They get entangled themselves into many difficult situations, and hence they are not able to practice transcendental activities. So, people who are practicing transcendental activities, Prabhupada gives an example, is like purchasing a diamond. Okay. Now, what does purchasing a diamond means? So, you go to a market, a vegetable market or a flower market, you see thousands of people jam-packed. They're all shouting at each other and they're carrying bags and then buying what they want. You'll find many. You go to the market, you'll see. But if you want to buy a diamond, you go to a diamond store and you'll see there's hardly anyone sitting there in that store. There's only one. So, Diamond purchasers are very rare, but market purchasers are very, very large in number. So, Prabhupada equates practice of pure devotion service is equivalent to a person purchasing diamond, and that's why he says very rare. Why? Because one is the practice and one is the realization. So, he says Sudurlabha. It is rarely achieved. Okay. Then, the next characteristics Rupa Goswami talks about is those in pure devotion service deride even the concepts of liberation. So, we talked about in the previous paragraph. In the previous paragraph, Rupa Goswami says there are 5 kinds of liberation. And many people in this world, the yogis and all this, they want to get liberated. One set of people, they want to get liberated from material problems. Oh, I don't want any more material problems. I don't want material body. I'll become impersonal. But even if it's impersonal, they'll again fall down back to the personal state after a period of time. So the other set of people, oh, this material world, Krishna said, it is ashashvatam, temporary. He says, Dukalayam, it's full of suffering. I don't want this place. I'll go to Vaikuntha. Why? This is like a negation. I have problems, so I'll leave this place. Now, today you see many people in the material atheistic world also people are doing it. Oh, India has a lot of problems, I'll go to America. Oh, America, there's a lot of problems, I'll go to Canada. Oh, Canada has got a lot of other problems, I'll go to Australia. So they'll keep on migrating places to solve their problem, but they won't find a solution. So similarly, many yogis and others are also trying to get liberation in order to solve a problem, but there's no love of Godhead. That's the point. So, if there is love of Godhead, what Rupa Goswami is saying is that will supersede the desire for liberation. Okay, so this is the most important point of time. So that means Moksha Lagutakrit says that a devotional service practitioner will never go to the Lord and say, oh Lord, I'm finding it very difficult to take me out of this world. No, Lord, I don't care what is in this life. My duty is to serve. Right? We recite the same, request to the Lord Damodar in Damodar Ashtakam also. Right? We're telling Lord Damodar, oh, please, I don't want liberation in this world, but I want birth after birth service to you. That is pure devotion service. Okay? And the last, pure devotion is only means to attract Krishna. Okay? So in the first 5 things we saw, we are trying to do many things about pure devotion service, which will purify our state. But in the last one, you see, pure devotion service, when one is practicing, the Lord comes, He descends. We saw many pastimes, right? We saw when the pure devotee is singing for the pleasure of the Lord descends from wherever he is, comes and sits in front of him to hear the bhajan and kirtan practiced by the pure devotee. Like Annamacharya kirtans, right? You see, it attracts the Lord. The service rendered by the Vrajavasis is so attractive, the Lord himself descended to be part of them. Right? So that is pure devotion service. It attracts the mercy of the Lord. And hence, Rupa Goswami compiles that prayer. Namamaha vadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate. He says, he takes a morsel of grass in his mouth and then keeps between his teeth, and then falls, begging mercy, showing his humility. I'm nothing. It is your causeless mercy that I can be awarded. Krishna prema pradayate. Love of Krishna can be awarded to him. So like that he asks. He doesn't ask for liberation. He's asking for love of God. Right? So Krishna is all attractive, but pure devotion service attracts even him. That is the key point. When we say Krishna is all attractive, he is like a magnet. All the iron fillings, wherever they are, they get attracted to Krishna, they go walk towards him. That's what Krishna is attractive. What is attractive about Krishna? His name is attractive, yes. His form is attractive. His activities are attractive. His words, his instructions are attractive. If he plays a music with his flute, it's attractive. It attracts all the gopis, the cows, everything, even the trees it attracts. The bamboos, they get attracted and they start to dance. Right? When Mahaprabhu sings, even the animals, they get attracted, they start to dance. So everything about the Lord is attractive. So, but pure devotion service even attract him. That's what is exemplified by Srimati Radharani. Radharani's love is so much that Lord is bewildered and he gets attracted. Right? Now we can make a point, oh, Radharani is also Lord, so it's possible. How is human, beings possible? No, go look at Chaitanya Charitamrita. Ramananda Rai, he's just a governor, he's a grihastha. When he speaks about devotional practice, Lord is attracted. Lord is sitting on the banks along with Ramananda Rai. He's asking question, please explain me the enrichment aspects of pure devotion service. What is the most glorious? And he wants to hear more and more and more and more. How many days on the banks? He's asking question and hearing that nectar of devotion service into his heart. See, even from Grihastha, the Lord is hearing. Right? So, pure devotion service attracts Supreme Lord wherever it is practiced. That is the glory. This means that pure devotion service is even transcendently stronger than Krishna himself because it is Krishna's internal potency. That is the beauty. So hence, based on this, Rupa Goswami writes the Nectar of Devotion into 4 topics. The first topic he wrote was on general devotion. What is general devotion means? Simple practices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next he writes about next stages of advancement in devotion, which is Vaidika Bhakti, which transforms into Raganuga Bhakti. Right? Then from Raganuga Bhakti, one may transfer himself into Bhava Bhakti. From Bhava Bhakti, he goes up and above, reaches Prema Bhakti. Right? So Rupa Goswami writes his entire Nectar of Devotion in these 4 sections of Bhakti. So it's very important that all of us read these sections. This should be read in 2 ways. First, self-reading. First, self-reading must happen. Second, together, in groups of 5, groups of 10, so that we can cross-question each other and ensure that we learn the subject matter properly. Okay? So does this create a base of why all the Hastinapurvasis were so attracted and Krishna reciprocating while his departure to Dwarka? Okay. Any questions, thoughts before we proceed further?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, this keeping some grass in between the teeth is also sometimes I have heard from senior acharyas, Prabhu. What exactly it denotes, Prabhu? Is it humbleness, humility, or in what way we should understand, Prabhu?
Prabhu, first is we are declaring deep in our heart that everything in this world is because of Krishna. Okay? Yes. Whatever I see, whatever I hear, whatever I do, whatever I want, everything is Krishna. First, clarity of consciousness in that. Second, now I am saying that all these days I had that false ego. I am also controller. I am also an enjoyer. I've come to the world to enjoy. Everything we had, all this false conception. We never had servitude, attitude in our heart. So now we are telling Krishna, my extreme existence is to serve you and nothing else. The quality of a servitude means humility. If a servant is not humble, then he cannot perform service. So hence, Rupa Goswami is saying, my position, Krishna, you are Vibhu Atma, right? You are infinite. You are everything. You are enjoyer. You are supreme. But I am Anu Atma. I am fragmental and I am nothing. My existence is your causeless mercy. So to prove that point, he takes a morsel of grass. What's a morsel of grass? One handful of grass, how much will it value? Yeah. Not even 5-10 paise. Yeah. So he keeps that value in his mouth and he says, this is my value, I'm nothing, please give me shelter. And as you give me shelter, give me love for you. That is the meaning of that activity and that action that Rupa Goswami performed. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu, so much.
So now let's go to 10.24. Savayam sakya anugita satkato vedeshu guhyesu cha guhya vadibihi ya ekaisho jagadatma leelaya srijati avati attina tatra sajjate. Translation. Oh, dear friends, so we are going to brush through this section because this section is all about they're glorifying Krishna, and this is all conversation between them. We'll just give the gist of the section, move forward. Oh, dear friends, here are that very personality of Godhead whose attractive and confident pastime are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature by his great devotees. It is he who only creates, maintains, annihilates the material world and yet remains unaffected. Okay, so it is basically two friends are conversing. What are they saying? Hey, you take the Veda Shastra. The Veda Shastra has many parts in it. Okay, it has got one element which contains activities with the material plane, and one section which is activities containing to the spiritual plane. It contains both. In the material plane, they're saying, hey, you know what? He is the cause of creation. He is the cause of maintenance. He is the cause of annihilation. He does all these things. And how he does? He uses material energy, nature. He uses Brahmaji to make all this manifestation happen. Like that, they're conversing. And apart from that, they're also conversing that there are other parts in Vedic literature where there are beautiful pastimes of the Lord, like what performed pastime, wonderful pastimes in Vrajabhumi. He says these are also other confidential parts of the Vedic Shastra. That means the Vedic Shastra contains yama, niyama, rules and regulations about practices of devotion. Oh, I have to do regulative principles. I have to get in the morning and do these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to read Brahmanical Shastra. I go to Patashala. I have to do all these things. Then I understand one aspect of it. But that is not the entirety of Vedas. Vedas has other sections. The other sections are all devotion service. So they're saying that also they're talking about. Saying whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential parts of the Vedic literature. Right? So they're talking both as conversation. And Krishna now says, now you got the point. Otherwise, what is the biggest problem of all these Brahmanas, so-called Brahmanas? They're so much worried about the rules and regulations in the Veda Shastra and keep on doing that. But love of God is not manifesting. The next evolution is not manifesting. And that is a problem. Right? Is this clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
Prabhu.
Okay, 10.25. Yada hi adharmena tamodiya nirpa jivanti tatraisahi sattvatakila datte bhagam satyam ritam dayam yasho bhavaya rupani dadat yuge yuge. Translation. This sloka is same like yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrijamyaham. That sloka meaning, you will see the same meaning here in translation. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest modes of existence, that means human beings, human kings, human administrators like ministers, like commander-in-chiefs, when they're having human body and behaving like animals, with such low consciousness. Example is Duryodhana, right? So what does the Lord do? The Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power. Okay? The truth positive shows special mercy on faithful persons, performs wonderful activities and manifests various transcendental form as is necessary in different periods and ages. Right? So, paritranaya sadhunam, he shows, okay, when the Lord sees adharmic activities by these kings and administrators, the Lord comes. What does he do? He protects his devotees like he protected the Pandavas. At the same time, Lord vanquished the adharmic people and reinstated Dharma. How did Lord reinstate Dharma? He asked Yudhishthira, Dharma Raja, Dharma personified, to take the throne and be coronated as the king and rule this world. When Dharma rules this world, religiosity will prevail. People will be, very careful in their life, and there'll be all success, truthfulness, happiness in this world. That's the whole idea. That's how he does this. So in the current Yuga of the Dwapar Yuga, when Lord manifested, what is the biggest issue? How dharma prevailed? The first line. The kings and administrators living like animals, right? The kings and administrators are the natural help for the people in this world, the king's men. Whom will they go and ask? If the government itself are the killers of the citizens, then where will the citizens go? And that was the problem. So hence, Krishna manifested. He manifested and he wanted to stop this nonsense. So he protected his devotees. He also killed, annihilated the demonic mentalities of living beings. Okay, so that's the explanation is being given here. So you can read through more and more detail. And while Krishna protects his devotees, the devotees had one complaint. Just a second. The devotees had one complaint. Oh, Krishna, you're just protecting, but we are hankering for your association. We are hankering for that bliss with you. So how do I get that? We get that when we experience and be part of the activities when the Lord performs. Okay, so Krishna, what did he do? He ensured that many of his associates, they were part of his performance of activities, right? So for example, when Krishna came to Vrajabhumi, many of the devatas, many of the great devotees in the, they were also being part of the pastimes that he performed. So like that, Krishna ensures that he includes them in their pastimes. Okay. Now the 16,000 wives that Krishna married are also rishis and sages who wanted to marry Krishna, so he included them in his pastimes. Okay. Now let's look at the other way. When not including in his pastime, Krishna did it with one people, but with other set of people, he ensured that those pastimes nourished their hearts. Right? So today you see, after 5,000 years, we are sitting here and hearing, Krishna's childhood pastimes in Mathura or in Vrindavan. You see, it is so wonderful. You hear them again and again. As devotees, we may be a fractional devotee, but we still get nourished with that pastime that we hear from the Lord. Right? Is it not true? So you see, Lord not only protects his devotees, but also nourishes their hearts. That's why he performs great, wonderful feat. When Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, it was amazing. They were all bewildered. How can this happen? So he did such acts and gave that nourishment in their hearts. Right? So you see, both he did simultaneously. Okay. We'll go to the next sloka, 10:26. Aho alam slagayatamam yadokulam. Aho alam punyatamam madorvanam. Yad esha pumsam rishabha shriyapatihi swajanmana chankara manena chanchati. This is a very, very beautiful sloka, right? We should mug up the sloka 10.26. Okay, now let's look at this translation. It talks about his childhood pastimes, right? Now, who's conversing? These are the ladies who are conversing. Okay. When a pastime of the Lord is conversed between two devotees, it pleases the Lord. And it is considered to be one of the greatest devotion service, right? And Krishna confirms that in the Gita. He says, Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parashparam. He says, oh, devotees engage their life in conversing about my pastimes and things. And that is extreme aspects of devotion service. And you see, those ladies on top of Hastinapur, they were doing topmost devotion service. Look at the translation. How supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu. Right? Who's the King Yadu? Who's the king of Yadu?
Vasudevana Prabhu.
Correct. I thought you will say Krishna. Okay. And how virtuous is the land of Mathura? Right? Where the supreme leader of all living entities, the husband of the goddess of fortune, who's Krishna, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. Look at it. See, your birth and my birth are ordinary. We will probably cut a cake in our house and share one stick of flour within ourselves. That's it. Or maybe get some few WhatsApp messages. But birth of the Lord means not just us, the whole world, the whole universe, the entire cosmic manifestation they celebrate. right? You should read very detailedly the birth of Krishna, what happened in the environment. You should see what happened to the rivers. You should see what happened to the skies. You should see what happened to the moon. You should see what happened to the cosmic planets, how they all aligned. Phenomenal. Everyone is celebrating. All the Devatas, they came to witness that moment the Lord is going to manifest. How many crores of Devatas are there? They all came and waited there and greeted the Lord to see his manifestation. That is the birth of the Lord. Right? So, when the Lord is going to be born in Mathura, it is the glory of Mathura. Mathura becomes a glorious place. Right? And what else he did? He wandered around in the 12 forest of Vrindavan, Dvadashvana Vrindavana forest. He went around and just wandered. He played his pastimes. He kept his lotus feet in every place of Govardhan Hill. Right? So he made entire place very, very beautiful. Right? And they're talking about all those pastimes. How he's taken birth, what happened during that time. How Vasudeva transported him from the jail to the house of Nanda Maharaj. All these things they're talking, and their heart is getting nourished, and Krishna is acknowledging it. Now, such an event we've also seen in the past, right? When Mother Rohini spoke about the birth and the appearance and the pastimes of Lord to the queens of Dwarka, even Subhadra melted. Lord melted. Balaram melted. They gave the forms of Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra. So from this we can conclude that the discussion of the pastimes of the Lord is one of the topmost, considerations of devotion. And this is the proof. There is Vedic conclusion, there is Srimad Bhagavatam pastimes, and the Lord himself talks about this as the topmost. You see, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, all three confirms that discussion of the pastimes is topmost in devotion. Okay? So are we good? Okay. Now what we should do? Now we generally associate, right? We associate in temple, we associate in devotee's house, we associate in center, we associate during yatras, so many times. Whenever we associate, we shall take one pastime of the Lord and glorify. And that's how devotion manifests. And this is what we should do. Yeah? Okay, 10:27. Let's read this sloka. Aho bataswar yashashas tirashkari kushastali punya yashaskari bhuvaha pashyanti nityam yad anugrahesitam smita valokam swapatim smayat prajaha. Translation. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeing the soul of the living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. Okay, so this is the beauty of this sloka. So now what this sloka is explaining is very, very, very wonderful. Now, there are certain enjoyment here in this material world. How? You can see there are kings who are enjoying with opulence. They have cars, they have gold, they have people at their call, huge palaces, extreme high quality food. Whatever they want, they can enjoy. Right? Now, Indradeva is laughing at the earthly planet by saying, oh, look at the opulence of Swargaloka. The opulence of Swargaloka is 100 times that of the earthly planet. That means, if you take out of many living entities in this earthly planet, there are one set of living entities who are enjoying the most in this earthly planet, right? Let's say maybe, I don't know, I'm just taking an example, maybe the kings of a certain kingdom got everything at his disposal. He's the best enjoyer here. So, the enjoyment in Swargaloka is 100 times than the enjoyment by that best king. Okay? So that's a normal life in Swargaloka. So that's what Indra is saying. But that Swargaloka, the Vasis, they do not get a chance to see the pastimes of Krishna. They do not get to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So what happens is, when a pure devotee is reciting Srimad Bhagavatam in this material plane, all these celestial elements, they would descend to hear from him Srimad Bhagavatam. When Krishna performs his amorous pastime in Dwarka, these Vasis in Swargaloka, they would come to witness those pastimes. See, this is the glory of Dwarka. Glory of Dwarka is because Krishna performed this pastime, which is greater than any material element that you can think of. Okay, so that's what our Acharya is writing here very, very wonderfully, the glory of Dwarka. The glory of anything about the pastimes of the Lord. And hence they are discussing, no, Krishna is going to Dwarka, he's going to do that, he's going to do this, everything they're talking about. Okay, so you should read these purports, they're very, very brilliant. And they'll really nourish your heart. Okay? So 10.28. Nonam vrata snana bhuta dineshwaraha samarchito hi asya grihita panibihi pibanti yasyaki adara amritam muhur brajastriyaha sammumuhur yadashayaha. Translation. Oh friends, just think of his wives whose hands he has accepted. Who are those?
16,100 people.
Okay, that is, but for who are the primary? Rukmani, Satyabhama,
8 queens.
Jambavati.
Jambavati.
Yeah. See, Krishna marries certain set of people. So here we are talking about those married people with Krishna. Okay. Now he says, how much they have undergone vows, baths, fire sacrifice, and perfect worship of the Lord of the universe to constantly relish now the nectar from his lips by kissing. Right? So as a wife, she gets the opportunity to kiss the Lord, to hug the Lord. Now the Acharya is writing, what have you performed that you're able to do this? Riya, what austerity, what tapasya you did? What good deed did you do? Please tell me. Now he's telling the damsels of Rajabhumi would often faint just by expecting such favors. Right? So here there are two kinds of bhava that one can experience. One is called parakya, another called swakya. Right? So we've discussed that in the past, but we'll make it sweet and short. What is parakya? What is parakya?
Up away from the married life.
Yeah. So love in separation. Right? So love in separation is parakya, paramour love. Now what happens in parakya bhav? So Krishna was there with the Brajavasis, the gopis, the Gopakumaras, and while he was there, they experienced intense love. Okay? But when Krishna left them, the love experienced by the Brajavasis was much more higher than what they experienced when they were together. So we think, oh, see, Krishna left and went away. But actually, Krishna awarded that benediction of greater love by being present in their heart in the transcendental manner. So they experienced such superior love, and that is called Parakya Bhav. Swakya Bhav. Swakya Bhav means what? Experiencing love, but being together with the Lord. So that's what is this Dwarkavasis are doing. What the Dwarkavasis are doing? They got married with Krishna, and Krishna himself personally expanded into 16,000 so many personalities, and married, built palaces, and led a particular family life with each one of them. So that means they're experiencing the transcendental bliss by being present with Krishna physically. And this is called Swakya Bhav. However, Rupa Goswami concludes that the Swakya Bhav is considered a little bit inferior compared to Parakya Bhav. Parakya Bhav is always superior. Now, how? He takes an example. when someone is experiencing Parakya Bhav, he's experiencing Madhurya Ras. Okay, so we know this 5 kinds of ras, right? What's the first?
Shantaras.
Shanta ras. Second?
Dasya rasa.
Dasya ras. Third?
Sakya.
Vatsal.
Fourth? Vatsalya ras. Fifth? Madhurya ras. Now, Santaras is the lowest form of ras, and Madhurya is the best or the topmost forms of experiencing rasa. Okay, that is clear in our heart. Now, Rupa Goswami says that the Vrajavasis, that means the gopis, the Gopakumaras, and all these people, they experience the highest form of love. That means the gopis experience Madhurya ras. Okay. Now, there are many situations of Krishna chastising the gopis. We have heard this past times, right? Many situations that Krishna chastises the gopis. He hides them from them, and then he puts them into some sort of a situation. In any of these situations, you see, the Parakya Ras people or the devotees, they never come down to experience lower forms of ras. That means the gopis, from any point in time, they never experienced anything other than Madhurya Ras. It is not that, oh, in this situation, I'll become like a dasya. They didn't come to that forms of ras. So they remain where they are. That is the glory of Parakya Bhav, love and separation. But in Swakya Bhav, you will see there is a fluctuation between ras. Now, let's take example of Satyabhama, right? So in Satyabhama, she is wife of Krishna. So sometimes she'll experience conjugal love. Okay? Now, Krishna, you must have seen many scenes, right? Satyabhama will become suddenly angry, and she will chastise, and she wanted a position, she wanted supremacy, she wanted Lord, okay, yeah, I want this Parijata tree now. I don't care what you do. You're not my husband anymore. Go get it, otherwise you don't see me. Right? So she'll order things like that, and Krishna would go get the Parijata tree from the heavenly planets and give it to her. Now you see, under very situation, she'll say, oh, I made a mistake, Krishna, I'm sorry, please forgive me. She'll fall at her feet and she'll demonstrate Dasya Ras. Right? So you see, she'll sometimes demonstrate Madhurya Ras, she'll come to lower forms of Dasya Ras, and sometimes she'll become neutral also, like Santaras also. Right? This is the multi-level characteristics of Sakya Bhav. But in Parakya Bhav, this does not happen. That's why Rupa Goswami concludes that Swakya Bhav, Parakya Bhav is superior in nature. Okay? Are you able to understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So now you will see Prabhupada writes a lot about Swakya Bhav and Parakya Bhav. And then, he also talks about what's the original constitution position with respect to the Lord. So very brilliantly he has rendered explanation. So please go through this purport more detailedly. You will get all those answers. Okay. But whatever is the purport, I've given you the detailed explanation. Okay. So let's go to this sloka 10.29. Yavirya sulkena hrita swayamvare matya chaidya pramukhan hi sushminaha pradyumna sambhamba sutadayo para yascharata bhauma vade sahasrasaha. Translation. The children of these ladies are Pradyumna. Who are these ladies? These are the first 3 ladies we talked about. Rukmini, Satyabhama,
Mama and Jambavati.
Their children are Pradyumna, Samba, and Amba. Okay? He says, ladies like Rukmini, Satyabhama, and Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayamvara ceremonies after he defeated many powerful kings headed by Shishupala. Right? So, if you look at how did he marry Jambavati? Who can answer that?
The Chudamani.
Samantaka Mani.
Samantakamani.
Yes.
But is it Samantakamani he married Jambavati?
No.
Yes.
How he married Jambavati?
He fights, Prabhu. Krishna fights with Jambavanta.
Fights with Jambavan for what? Almost 20-25 days like that he fights. And then Jambavan, who's supposed to be one of the strongest men on this earth, he said, what is this? I'm not able to defeat you. Then he realized the supremacy of the Lord. And as a mark of respect, he hands over his daughter to Krishna. Right? So that's how he married Jambavati. Okay, how did he marry Rukmani?
He did not kidnaps.
How does he marry Rukmani?
Kidnaps.
Prabhu,
He elopes in.
How does Krishna marry Rukmani?
by just taking her away from the
Ah,
Palace.
yeah, he kidnaps her.
yeah.
Yeah. He kidnaps her. And why he kidnaps? Because Rukmani writes a love letter. 27
Yeah.
pages of love letters he writes. And then Krishna has never seen Rukmani, and Rukmani has never seen Krishna. Just like any one of us, we have never seen the Lord, but we've developed love for the Lord by hearing his pastimes, by hearing about him from others, by seeing his form, by talking to his entourage, all those things, right? So Rukmini also got married, and you know this famous pastime. Shishpala came with an army to attack Krishna. Krishna defeated all of them and took. Right? So you see, like that, Rukmani, Satyabhama, Jambavati were forcibly taken away by him from their Swayamvara ceremonies. Right? And that's what they're talking. So they're talking about Krishna's marriage. Then he talks about, then the ladies were telling, hey, not only that, yeah, the 16,000 queens that Krishna married, also he went and killed Bhaumasara, that great demon who captivated all the 16,000 queens. He killed him and he rescued those queens and he got married to her. So like that, they were all talking about the pastimes of the Lord. Right? So unlimitedly, they kept talking about those pastimes and they were getting nourished. And when Krishna heard them talking about the pastimes, Krishna was so pleased. Right? Okay? So 10.30. Yeta param shritavam shritvam apastapeshalam nirasta saucham bata sadhu kurvate yasham grihat pushkara lochanapati najata apaiti ahritibir hridi sprishan. Translation: all these women auspiciously glorified their lives despite their being without individuality and without purity. So their husband, the lotus-eyed personality of Godhead, never left them alone at home. He always pleased in their hearts by making valuable presentations. Right? So this sloka talks about how Krishna took care of this, his 16,108 wives. Right? No, it is not that, oh, I married so many people, where is my time? I don't have that much money, I don't have that much things to take care. No, it was not the case. Krishna cared for all these wives so nicely. And he never, gave even one iota of difficulty being married to Krishna. So like that, Krishna took care of them. So it also talks about potency. Is it possible for someone to take care of so many people like that? But Krishna took care, and that tells his Achinta Shakti. Right? So like that, they were glorifying the Lord. How powerful, how great, how wonderful he is. Right? So like that, the Lord is being continuously glorified. Okay? So now this completes, sloka up to sloka 30th, completes all the conversation by the Hastinapur Vasis by the time Krishna departs Hastinapur. Okay? So now there are 5 more slokas. This sloka is nothing but Krishna departs, and then we'll come to the last sloka, 36 now. So while departing, Yudhishthira Maharaj is making all clear, respectful plans. Okay. Now, one set of slokas you will see that everyone is offering, throwing flowers and things like that, and then they're giving very nice celebration for the Lord to depart. Another set of celebration is that everyone is playing all the musical instruments, including blowing the trumpets and things like that, as a mark of honor, right, to the Lord Vaishnava. Third, Krishna and his associates, they're going to Dwarka. Good. But what did Yudhishthira do? He sends his own personal associates along with the Lord. Hey, please take them and then drop them to Dwarka and then come back. So like that, he sends another set of people to go along with the Lord. See, this is all honor. Now, you may ask, why Yudhishthira Maharaj is sending an army? Is it that to protect the Lord from any dangers that could happen while Lord is traveling? See, Lord, if you look at his travel now, he'll go from Uttar Pradesh, now, which is Hastinapur now, like Delhi. So Uttar Pradesh, he'll go all the way to Rajasthan, then he'll come down from Rajasthan, he'll come down to Punjab, then he'll go to the Gujarat, He enter Gujarat and then he'll go all the way to Dwarka. Like that he goes. That's the route he goes. And then while he goes, there are desert regions and things like that. All those things are being explained. Now, while going, there could be some people who may attack. So hence, to protect the Lord, Yudhishthira is sending the army. But you know what Acharya is saying? Krishna, he defeated the entire army in Mahabharata. He defeated all the demons, including Kamsa, during his childhood. Does he need an army? He doesn't need an army. But why is Yudhishthira doing? Yudhishthira is doing as a mark of respect, as a mark of love. And that is devotion. And that's how the Acharyas are concluding. So, we may see, Krishna, you created this entire world. You created all the food in this world. Why should I offer that food to you? We may think like that, but no. Taking that from his creation and preparing wonderful, tasty prasadam or bhoga and offering to Krishna is love of devotion. So Krishna is giving all these opportunities for us to express our devotion to him. Not to take all these things and then go aloof and say, I'll enjoy all these things. So, material creation is given to us. Express our devotion to God. Okay. Material creation is manifested to us so that we can use that to express our devotion to the Lord, not for our enjoyment. And that's what you have to understand. Utility must be the principle of life. Yes, I need these things to live a life, and that's how we should hold. But if we keep on using the material energy for enjoyment, then we are not really practicing devotion. So this is the change of consciousness we need to build in. Okay? So that's what has been explained in the next few slokas you can read. I'll come to the last sloka. This is very, very important and a very, very beautiful sloka. So let's read this. Okay? 10.36. Tatra tatraha tatraitair tatra tatraha tatratyair harihi pratyud yata hanaha sayam beja disham paschat gavisto gam gatastada. So let's look at this sloka. Tatra tatra, at different places, it so happened, tatratyai, by local inhabitants, harihi, the personality of Godhead, Krishna, pratyudyata harhanaha, being offered presentations and worshipful regards, sayam, the evening, beje, having, overtaken, disham, direction, paschat, western, it says western here, okay, gavistaha, the sun in the sky, gam, to the ocean, gataha, having gone, tada, at that time, okay. Now translation. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed. We talked about the journey, no? So from Uttar Pradesh, he went to Rajasthan, Chandigarh, Rajasthan, Punjab. Then he came to Gujarat. Then he went to Dwarka, right? He was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presents. That means en route also people really connected with the Lord. They took the opportunity. Oh, Lord is coming this way. Let's go greet him, welcome him. And wherever he went, he was offered obeisances, prayers, great oblations, everything. Okay. In the evening, in all the places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. See, this journey from Hastinapur to Gujarat is not a one-day journey. It's many nights, many days, right? Because it's quite distance. But every day, the Lord would perform all his duties as a human being. Here I'm using the word human being as a reference for us, not for the Lord, right? A human being is expected to perform these duties on a regular basis. So the Lord is showing the way by setting an example. One should do Sandhya Vadana every day. One should offer prayers in the morning and in the evening. One should cleanse his body in the morning and the evening in this format. Like that, all these things, there are rules, and one is expected to follow. And Lord, even though he is Supreme Lord, he is above the three modes of nature. He himself personally is demonstrating for the whole world how they should lead a life. Okay, so I want someone to read the purport of this translation of Sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It is said here that Lord observed the religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. there are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under the obligation of fruitive action. But actually, this is not the case. He does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But when he descends to the earth, he acts for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duty, still he does everything so that others may follow.
That's
This is
important
the
point.
yes.
See, this is the most important point. Although he has no obligation, he is not obliged to follow all these duties, right? Still, he does everything so that others may follow.
Follow.
Oh, Krishna, my leader, he has followed. I should also follow, right? And we all have natural tendencies, right? In a company, an employee would follow his manager and behave accordingly. In a family, a son or a daughter would follow his father and then practice those things. In a country, if the king is like that, all the citizens will follow the king. So it's very important that the leader of a society sets an example, and Krishna is doing so. Okay, read, Prabhu.
Yes, ma'am. That is the way the factual teachings. One must act properly himself and teach the same to others. Otherwise, no one will accept one's blind teaching. He is himself the awarder of the fruitive results. He is self-sufficient, and yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scriptures in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in advanced stages, when one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, one does not try to imitate him. This is not possible. The Lord is human society, does what is the duty of everyone. But sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to imitated by the living being. The acts of evening prayers, as stated herein, must be followed by living being. But it is not possible to follow his mountain lifting or dangerous dancing with the gopis. One cannot imitate the sun, which can exhaust water even from the filthy place. The most powerful can do something which is all good. But our imitation of such acts will put us into endless difficulty. Therefore, in all sections, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of the progress will be assured. Hare Krishna.
Thus end the
purpose of first canto, 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatham, entitled The Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwaraka. Hare Krishna.
For Dwaraka. Okay. So two key messages out of this purpose, apart from what we already discussed, is about imitation and being a follower. Okay. So when Krishna teaches certain duties and regulations and practice one should follow, we have to follow those, like what he did while he was traveling to all these places. But one should not imitate Krishna. Oh, Krishna, you did lifting over the hill. No, I will also try something like that. Or you dance with gopis. I'll also dance with the gopis, like many girls and things like that. You should not do that. That is imitation. Imitation is sarcasm, is also disrespectful. And that is called Sahaja mentality. And that will lead to spoiling our devotion service, right? So we take the best practices. For example, our guru may do certain things in a certain manner. We should not imitate our guru, but we should follow the teachings of our guru. And this is important, right? So when we follow the teachings and practice our devotion, our life becomes wonderful. But if we imitate our gurus, we have a problem for ourselves, including Krishna. So that is the most important conclusion of this chapter. In the next chapter, we will be discussing what happened when Krishna entered into Dwaraka, right? Then this is chapter 11. After that, we will be talking about Krishna's departure. Hare Krishna, why is this disturbance? Okay. So we'll discuss those things in the subsequent chapters, and we'll also talk about King Parikshit, the departure of the Pandavas, then King Parikshit being throned as a king, and life of King Parikshit, what happened. So that we will discuss also in detail. And, we will end the canto like that. So you will see first canto is so much blissful in nature, so much of message, so much of things to learn, so much for us to practice. Okay. So we'll now open up this thing for questions, and we'll see how we can help you understand any doubts you have.
Prabhu, I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes, madam.
Actually, in the spiritual heavenly planets, they have been very pious, and they had a desire to control. So that is the reason they have gone to the heavenly planets, and their enjoyment is 100 times more than Bhuloka. But out of them, there may be some people also who want to be who want to know more about Lord Krishna, no, Prabhu. Is it not possible?
Yeah, they will want to know. It is true. Who said they don't want to know?
But because they come down to the earthly planet to listen to the Lord's...
Because Lord did not, Lord was not born in Swargaloka to perform his pastimes. Lord was born in Mathura and he performed his pastimes in the Bhuloka planet. Hence, they descend to the Bhuloka planet to witness these pastimes.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, Mataji? Okay. See, for example, now I'll just take an example. As in Ayodhya, now this new Ram temple has come. Okay. Ayodhya is also the place or birth of Lord Ram. Correct? Okay. Now, you may see Ram temple through video here, sitting here, or you may hear some lectures about someone speaking, oh, it's like that, this is happening, that's happening, all these things. Would you be just satisfied with that, or you would want to now go to Ayodhya and see it?
Want to know too.
Okay. You've seen it on video, no? You've seen the temple in video, you've seen the deity in video. Why you want to go there still?
Okay, Prabhu.
So similarly, that's how the heavenly planets and other planets that descend to experience the pastimes of the Lord in reality.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandasana.
Yes, any others have questions? Hare Krishna. Okay, so looks like you're all good. So my humble request, today's purports were from Sloka 24 onwards. I want you to read the purports and do it today itself. If you postpone reading, you will forget context. Okay? So it won't take much time, just 1 hour if you sit down. You can read all the purports very nicely. It will nourish your heart with devotion, and you will also understand subject matter deeper and better. And we'll get ready for next week to discuss how Lord enters Dwarka. What all they did to receive the Lord. We'll read that also. Okay. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the wonderful class, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Cha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anant Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Wonderful
Hare
class.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.